All right. Love and load. Team I love. All right, I'm going with the Bucks on this for this week, okay? And the reason I'm going with the Bucks is because
I had them too. You said yours in first. I had them too.
No team has screwed around with our emotions more than the Milwaukee Bucks this year. They stink, and then they've gotten it together, and then they
win a
stink
championship
again. Yeah, and then they start 2025 by losing to the Nets and Portland. Those are the two most disgusting losses you can take outside of maybe the Wizards, okay?
Oh, and no. And our last pod was we taped Tuesday morning. They were fresh off getting dominated by the Knicks. It was like last night's Cavs Thunder game. Like, it was not competitive at all.
Okay, so then they start the season and they lose to the Nets and Portland. Then they win 3 in a row. Then, as you mentioned, they get dog walked by 34 by the Knicks. And it's like, oh, God. Like, right when, they had lost these 2, then they won these 3. Hey, maybe they're getting together. Oh, no, they got smashed by the Knicks. Then they turned around and broke Sacramento's, broke their unbelievable startup and beat them by 15 and get 57 from Dame and Giannis. Then they turn around and play Orlando, who's been a bitch for everybody to play, and a team that you have to look at as a possible second-round matchup.
And they had Paolo.
And he bombed them out. Beat them 122-93. Again, 56 between Giannis and Dame. And then they get some contributions all around. They've gotten some bench contribution, including from Chris Middleton. And so, look, we got to give the Bucks credit when they deserve it. And there are certainly these weeks that, they always say never get too high, too low. But my God, I cannot imagine the Bucks fan experience this year, because it's like, oh my God, we suck when you lose to the Nets in Portland. Then you win those 3 and be like, okay. And then you get killed by the Knicks. You're like, I knew it. And then you turn around and get these 2 great wins. And so, I don't know. You're schizophrenic, but I kind of am starting to love it. I love the fact that I have no idea if you are going to suck or be awesome. I don't know. But you are not consistently anything.
If I didn't pay attention to the NBA as closely as I do, if I was sort of one of my college fans who's a casual fan, loves the league, but not day-to-day being caught up on it. And I said to them, I was like, what seed are the Bucks in the East, right? I swear to God, one of my friends would be like 9. One of my friends would be like 2. It's like, honestly, it's like, I don't know where they are. Right now, they're 4 seed. They'd be hosting a round 1 playoff game.
Right.
And they're like a 10 seed 4 weeks ago. It's a mess. I love it too, because I love drama. And this is an absolute roller coaster. Roller coaster.
Look, if I told you that in another month they're going to be the 2 seed, you might be able to be convinced. If I told you in a month they're going to be the 8th seed, you might be able to be convinced. I don't know where the hell they're going to be. I don't know. I have no idea.
Just because the way it is, I hate to be like a nerd about it, but they're much closer to the 8th seed, sort of in games behind. But
are you believing in the Celtics right now? They look terrible.
Oh, we'll bring them up later. We're going to bring up the Celtics later. And on that, I'm trying to keep moving here. Also, I just want to apologize. I got a cough. I was sick this week. I was sick on Tuesday's show. That was the achy part of my sickness. The achy goes away, and then it goes into the cough and wheeze part of my sickness. And I just want to say, I blame my illness on dry January. This is ridiculous. My body's like, what are we doing? My body is just like, what are we doing? There's an element to the chemistry that you've given me for about 30 years that you're now taking away. It's just throwing my body out of whack. So I want to apologize to my body.
Since you're being open and honest, would you say you have a drink every day or every
No. That's ridiculous. Okay.
No, so it's not ridiculous. There's a lot of people that have a drink every
6 days a week. It's every day. It's ridiculous. 6 days a week. That's more like...
I'm not an alcoholic. All right.
Yeah. No.
What do you think?
But yeah,
I am?
but it's no. I don't drink every day.
You
But
think you're
it's really
blaming
just
your sickness. Forget the fact that it's negative 10
January.
degrees and horrible in the Northeast. You think it's the lack of alcohol.
Yeah. I think my body's just not used to this. Sending me a message like, come on, bro. Let's have a beer after work. Let's get back to normal.
All right.
But that being said, I just want to apologize for coughing a bunch. But I'll say this about the team that I love this week. I believe my recall is not the best. This was the team I loathed last week on Friday. Toronto Raptors.
Oh.
Now we're going to get to the Celtics, all right? Because they're the team that I loathed this week. So I'm just going to save that for a second. But I just want to say this.
I knew you were going to find a way to talk about Dick.
No, I didn't even put him in my notes. I'm watching the game. And they're beating the Celtics in the first half. And myself and every Celtics fan and every Celtics player, every Raptors fan, every NBA fan watching on League Pass is just waiting for the Celtics to go on a run and flip the game. They're just waiting for it. I'm live betting this thing on FanDuel. I'm like, there's no chance the Raptors win this game. It makes no sense for them to win this game. And the run never happened. They never forced the Raptors to call timeout. They never pressured the game. It was never really in question, the outcome. It was a truly great performance from the Raptors through and through. And I think that people dumb down the Celtics too much, and we'll get to that later. But it's all, if they're not hitting threes, they're not going to win. They hit 34% of their threes. Like, they didn't shoot terribly from three in that game, but the Raptors held them to about 40% from two. And I just loved them. And the reason I really loved them this week, here's why I really loved them this week, before you chime in. After the game. Remember, this team has 10 wins on the season.
Right.
Social media managers get together that run the Raptors account. They're like, what should we do?
This is their moment.
They're like, we're not going to have too many opportunities like this season.
That's right.
So what do? They put up a box score of the game, quarter by quarter, with a picture, and this is why I love them this week, of Brandon Jennings. Now, if you haven't been paying close attention, Brandon Jennings said that Jason Tatum was the softest Celtics superstar in history. So they didn't mention Tatum by name.
No.
They didn't put the quote up on the post. Just the box score and Brandon Jennings. That is why they're the team I love this week.
I mean, look, they've probably been to hell and back this year with all the other teams goofing on them. I've seen teams like a couple weeks ago when Orlando beat them. They put up that, the chubby fake Drake, all that stuff. Yeah. Except he's singing Orlando Magic, right? Like, I mean, they've been to hell and back. I will say this about Toronto very quickly. They've gotten their guys back healthy. Not that we are in love with their roster by any means, whatever. But I do think that by virtue of getting the guys back and like they have like a real lineup now that they can play, they are one of those teams that everybody's going to go, I can go out to the club the night before. I can go hang out and do whatever I want to do. I don't have to do some kind of like stringent routine. I don't have to be locked in for us to get a win. Over the course of 82 games, there's always nights where you're not locked in the same way. And it's usually when you're playing against the rat teams. And what I will say is they are teaching us that when they have their guys back in their lineup, they are worthy of your attention, because if you do dick around, they will catch you.
Toronto is known. It's known for being a fun NBA team. Right. A fun NBA city for visiting teams. They're the New York Times. Like, this is like
their record. Look, I think they've won one game in in America. It's like maybe one or two. Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Like they're of their 10 wins, they're all like in Toronto.
The New York Times once wrote like a 6,000 word. This is like 2010, 2013 or something. They wrote like a 6,000 word article about like the economy of sort of hosting visiting NBA players at night. Oh. And it was well researched, and it was the New York Times, And it seemed like it was a very fun city for visiting teams. And I think the poor quality of the roster at this point may sort of entice some visiting players to enjoy themselves a little bit more than they normally would on the night before. And God bless them, because it's working. And they'll never be a team that I love again. So this is your week, Toronto Raptors fans. Enjoy.